Will it hurt? Gently? Her voice trembled, barely more than a whisper. The candlelight flickered across her pale face, illuminating wide, frightened eyes. The Slav stepped closer, his hand shaking slightly, to get ready to mask it with a steadying breeze. He knelt before her, silent, searching for the right word, but uncalm. The room was suffocatingly still. Only the soft crackle of the fireplace dared to interrupt the tension. She shifted slightly, the silk of her gown rustling against the stone floor. He reached for her hand, and she flinched, a shiver running down her spine. His touch, too meant to reassurer, only made her pulse race faster. You don't have to, she said again, her voice firm now, took fear linger like a shadow. The Slav swallowed hard, his throat a regret. He had never seen anyone so fragile, yet there was a strange fire behind her eyes, a determination that unsettled him more than Anisha ever had. He will be careful, he finally said, his voice hoarse. He promise. Her breath itched. She nodded, a single, hesitant gesture. The air between them grew thick, charged, as if the walls themselves were holding their breath. The first touch was tentative, almost ritualistic. Fingers brushed, linger, then withdrew. Her body tensed like a bowstring, every nerve alert. Yet I continued, slow and deliberate, a strange warmth began to bloom inside her. Pain mingled with something else, something tender, fragile, and forbidden. Outside, the wind howled against the castle's stone walls. A storm was approaching, fierce and unpredictable, mirroring the chaos building within the chamber. They were alone, yet somehow, every creaking beam, every gust of wind seemed to spy on them. Are you sure? She whispered, eyes glistening. His gaze made air, steady and intense. You have never been more certain of anything, he replied, his hand brushing a stray lock of hair from her face. The air vibrated with unspoken word, emotion too dangerous to name. She leaned forward slightly, testing him, testing herself, and the word outside the door disappeared. Time slowed. The fire flickered a shadow that danced across the walls, ghosts of what had been, and warning of what might come. Then, without warning, a loud knock rattled the heavy wooden door. Both of them froze, breath caught in their throat. The Slavess hand linger midair, caught between action and retreat. Her eyes widened, panic flaring. Who is it? She stammered, her voice barely audible over the storm outside. He swallowed, glancing towards the door. "I don't know," he muttered. "No one should be here now." Another knock. Louder. Insist. A king that carry authority. A king that demand answer. Fear clawed at her chest. Her mind raced gare, the king, discovery, punishment. Every possible consequence rolled over her like a tidal wave. But amid it all, her gaze made hiss, and in that look, an unspoken agreement formed. They could not stop. Not now. Not when the fragile thread of trust, of something deeper, had begun to weave itself between them. "Id," he whispered urgently, taking her towards the shadow of a tall velvet curtain. She stumbled, catching herself against the soft fabric, hearts pounding in tandem. The knocking continued, echoing through the chamber, growing more aggressive, more certain. Suddenly, the door creaked open. A shadow appeared, silhouetted by the lightning flashing outside. The Slav pressed himself against her, holding her as close as the curtain would allow. A cold, commanding voice sliced through the tension. "I know you're here. Come out." The Slav's pulse thundered in his ear. His mind raced. How could they have known? Who had betrayed them? Fear and rage twisted together, coiling like a serpent around his chest. The young Virginess had found this, gripping tightly. Her small gesture encouraged him, reminded him why he had taken the risk in the first place. Despite the danger, despite the uncertainty, despite the storm both outside and inside, there was a heartbeat of defiance between them. The figure stepped closer, the light revealing a glimpse of power, of authority, of cruelty. The Slav's mind screamed at him to flee, to protect her, but the walls pressed in, the storm raged, and escape seemed impossible. A sudden, sharp movement. A candle knocked over, flame licking the floor. The intruder he said, distracted. The Slav seized the moment, his hand still entwined with her, and whispered, "Follow me." They darted into the shadow, feet silent on the cold stone, hearts hammering like war drum. The storm outside mirrored the chaos within, thunder rattling windows, lightning illuminating fleeting glimpses of their terrified face. Then, Had they reached the far end of a chamber, a trapdoor revealed itself, hidden, forgotten. Et hesitated only a heartbeat before pulling it open. Down here, et urgé, voice tight. She glanced at him, eyes wide. Where? Somewhere safe. He hope. The door yawned before them, darkness swallowing the last candlelight. They stepped into it together, holding onto each other, the unknown beneath them, the storm above, and the intruder searching. As the trapdoor slammed shut behind them, the thunder outside seemed to mock them. And in the suffocating black, she whispered, almost to herself, will it end? The slaves and tightened around her, but even he didn't know the answer. And as the darkness closed in, a sound echoed from above, a voice, a command, unmistakable. They were not alone. And no one imagined what would happen next. The trapdoor slammed shut with a deafening finality. Darkness enveloped them, thick and suffocating, broken only by the faintest glimmer of light seeping through crack in the stone walls below. The slave's grip on her hand was the only tether to reality, steady and grounding, to be sound fear throbbed like a living thing in his chest. Are we safe? She whispered, voice trembling. Her words were swallowed by the oppressive silence, the only reply the rhythmic sound of their own breathing. I think so, et murmure, took the uncertainty in his sound voice betrayed him. He scanned the blackness ahead, fingered brushing against cold, rugged stone. This passage was narrow, hidden, meant for servant or prisoner, or secret. The young virgin shivered, pressing herself closer to him. He shouldn't have trusted you, she admitted, at her tracing a line down her pale cheek. You did what you had to, he said, voice low, almost revere. We don't have a choice now. Only forward. Their footsteps echoed against the stone, a haunting rhythm that seemed to amplify the pounding of their hearts. Every small sound, drip of water, scurry of a rat, distant echo of a storm, felt magnified, as if the darkness itself was listening. Then, a faint light flickered red. Candlelight. A room. Or, a trap? The slave signaled her to stay silent. They crept forward, each step measured, careful not to betray themselves. The source of the light was a chamber, abandoned, dusty, long untouched. All furniture stood like skeletal gare, and the air smelt of decay and forgotten things. But it was a sanctuary of sorrow, a pause in the relentless terror above. They sank to the floor, back against the wall, breathing shallow. For a moment, they allowed themselves to exist in the quay. The storm outside had turned into a low, constant roar, hammering against the castle walls like a relentless drum. I don't understand, she said finally, voice barely audible. Why me? Why now? He looked at her, searching for the word that could make sense of a word that made no sense. I don't know. But it's not just about us. There's more. Secret that a king fear. That everyone fear. And some, you are a part of it. Her eyes widened. Secret? What do you mean? He hesitated, debating how much to reveal. The truth was dangerous, heavier than any sword. You carry something that could change everything. That is why they came. Her breath caught. Me? But I'm just, she trailed off, the weight of her own insignificance pressing down. No, he interrupted, shaking his head. You are not just anything. You are the spark that could ignite the storm the kingdom has been hiding from. The word hung in the air, impossible and electrifying. She wanted to ask more, to understand, but the silence of the chamber pressed in, a warning that there was no time. A sound from above made them freeze. Footstep. Heavy, deliberate. They were searching, coming closer, voices now, low, murmuring command. The intruder had reinforcement. We have to move, he whispered urgently. Now? They slipped through a narrow passage hidden behind a tattered tapestry, cold stone cutting against their arms and face. The slave led, eyes adjusting to the dark, sensé alert for the smallest sign of danger. She followed, tracing, body pressed to his, trusting him completely even every instant screamed that discovery would mean death. Ahead, the passage split into two tunnels, twisting and turning in ways that seemed almost alive. The choice of direction could mean safety, or doom. Which way? She whispered. He hesitated, ears straining for sounds above. Left, he said finally, to his voice carrying no certainty. I've been here once before. I think it lead outside. Maybe. Her grip tightened on his hand. Maybe isn't enough, she murmured. I know, he admitted. But we have no other choice. They moved forward, crawling over broken stones, the walls closing in, their shadow dancing in the flickering candlelight they carried. Every turn brought them closer to the unknown, closer to freedom, or to the edge of a trap they could not see. Suddenly, a whisper echoed from the darkness ahead, a voice, familiar yet impossible. You shouldn't have come here. The Slav froze. She froze. Their breath caught, hearts hammering against rib like trapped burrs. Who is there? He demanded, voice firm despite the terror clawing at him. The darkness did not answer, but a cold, invisible hand seemed to brush against her shoulder. The hair on the back of her neck stood on end. You think you can hide, the voice said, closer now. You think you can escape what is already yours. He pulled her back into the shadow, pressing her to the wall. Stay silent, he whispered, voice barely more than a breath. Lightning flashed through a crack in the ceiling, illuminating the twisted passage ahead. And for a fleeting heartbeat, they saw it. A figure. Tall. Silent. Waiting. Watching. And then it was gone. But the feeling remained, en ici certainty that their journée had only just begun, and the end no one could imagine, was closer than they thought. The passage seemed to stretch endlessly, twisting and turning like the vow of some ancient, living creature. Each step they took echoed of the cold stone, a harsh counterpoint to the wild beating of their hearts. The Slav led her with purpose, but his mind raced with question. How had they been discovered so quickly? Who else knew of the secret he had sworn to protect? She stumbled, catching herself on the wall. He can't keep up, she whispered, fearlessing her word. Don't stop, he urged, gripping her on tighter. We almost. A sudden noise above them cut him off. The roof trembled as took some monstrous weight had landed there. Dust rained down in a thin sheet, blinding and shocking them. The storm outside seemed to grow louder, thunder smashing against the castle walls like the beating of our drum. They ducked into a narrow tunnel, almost crawling now, their body pressed close to the floor. She could feel his warmth, his heartbeat against her, and for a fleeting second, terror mixed with something forbidden. Comfort, intimacy, the kind that only danger can forge. Then, without warning, the passage opened into a cavernous room. The Slav froze, sensing the shift in the air. The room smelt of damp earth and old decay. Moonlight streamed in from a narrow window high above, casting pale silver onto the floor, illuminating shapes they could not yet understand. What is this place? She whispered, a wind fear mingling in her tone. I don't know, he admitted, scanning the shadow. I've never seen it. But it feels ancient. Powerful. A low hum began to rise from the stone itself, vibrating through the air, through their bones. It was subtle at first, barely audible, but it grew, resonating with an almost painful intensity. The Slav felt his stomach twist. This was no ordinary chamber, it was a sanctuary. Or a prison. Perhaps both. Then, from a far corner, a figure stepped forward. Tall, draped in a cloak of midnight blue, faceted in shadow. The air grew colder, every hair on her body standing on end. You shouldn't have come here, the figure said, voice smooth but sharp, like a knife drawn across silk. The kingdom's balance, the FATE of bloodline, it is not for you to meddle in. The Slav stepped protectively in front of her, hat hammering. We have no choice, he said firmly, took fear of through his tone. We must leave. We must survive. The figure tilted its head, almost amused. Survive? Oh, you misunderstand. You are part of a design now. The moment you touched what was forbidden, your fate were sealed. And the end is closer than you think. She gasped, clutching the Slav's arm. What do you mean? What end? The figure raised a hand. Lightning from the storm outside illuminated the room, revealing a pendant hanging from its neck, a jewel glowing with an inner fire, pulsing with rhythm like heartbeat. She stared at it, drawn inexplicably, feeling a pull she could neither resist nor understand. You cannot run from what is yours, the figure intoned. And yet, you can choose. For a brief moment, a choice remains. But choose wisely, or all will be lost. The Slav's eyes darted between the figure and her, mind racing. What choice? The figure extended the hand holding the pendant. Take it. Or leave it. But now this, taking it bint you, leaving it condemn you. And whatever path you chose, someone else watch, always. Waiting. She hesitated, heart pounding, torn between instinct and survival, desire and fear. et whispered her name, as soft encore in the storm. Do what you must. But we face it together. Her hand trembled as it reached towards the glowing pendant. Time seemed to stretch, the storm outside merging with the storm within, the loam of the chamber treming in their bones. The slave held his breath. The world seemed to hold its own, suspended, waiting for her decision. And then, just as her finger brushed the jewel, the ground beneath them shivered violently. Dust fell from the ceiling, and a crack appeared, snaking across the stone floor. A deep, growling rumble echoed from the darkness, a sound that seemed older than the kingdom itself. The figure vanished in a swirl of shadow, leaving them alone in the gloaming, trembling room. She turned to him, wide-eyed. Did it leave? Or, was it tenuous? It didn't answer immediately. His gaze was fixed on the pendant, pulsing like a heartbeat in the moonlight. I don't know, he admitted, voice low. But whatever it is, whatever we've touched, the kingdom itself is changing around us. And no one, not the king, not the guard, no one, will see what comes next. The tremor grew stronger. A distant roar joined the storm above. The slave pulled her close. We have to move, he said, urgency cutting through the how. Now, before it's too late. She nodded, trusting him completely despite the fear clawing at her chest. Together, they stepped forward into the shadowed passage, leaving the trembling room and its glowing pendant behind, for now. But deep in the darkness, unseen eyes watched, and a whisper rode the wind. Untouched, nothing, not even love, can save them. They pressed forward through the narrow tunnel, body pressed against the cold stone, heart hammering in sync with the distance under. Every step seemed louder than the last, echoing through the twisting passage as if the walls themselves were alive, listening, judging. Her hand clung to his, trembling. I can feel it, she whispered. Something, following us. He swallowed hard, forcing himself to remain calm. It's just the echo. That is all. But even as he spoke, he knew it wasn't true. The air had grown heavier, charged with a presence that was not human. Every shadow seemed to stretch toward them, every flicker of light creating shapes that weren't there before. A sudden gust of wind slammed through the passage, extinguishing the small torch they carried. Darkness swallowed them all. She gasped, stumbling against him. Stay close, he whispered, feeling along the wall, and brushing against the cold, rough stone. He guided her forward, slow and deliberate, careful not to make a sound. Then, something moved her head. A shadow, larger than any man, gliding silently over the walls. It paused, as if sensing them, its form dissolving into the darkness before their eyes could fully comprehend it. Did you see that? She breathed, her voice barely audible. He did, he admitted, jaw tight. And we have no choice but to keep moving. Now. They rounded a bend and stumbled into a large chamber, vaulted ceiling lost in the blackness above. The slavess pressed against the stone walls, guiding her carefully. There was a strange, rhythmic tapping like claw clicking against stone echoing somewhere deep in the shadow. Suddenly, the sound stopped. Silence pressed in, heavier than the darkness itself. They froze, sensés straining. Then came a whisper, low and impossible to place, circling around them from all directions. You cannot escape, you cannot hide, the kingdom knows. She clutched him tightly. What is it? What does it want? He shook his head, fear finally breaking through the veneer of control he had dealt. I don't know, but we need to keep moving. We have to reach the exit. There must be a way out, there has to be. A faint gleam of moonlight caught the edge of the chamber, revealing a spiral staircase descending into deeper darkness. He led her toward it, each step a careful negotiation with the unseen. Halfway down, a sudden crash rang out behind them. Dust and small stones rained down from the ceiling. A shadow, they had felt it, they had heard it was close. Too close. Faster, she urged, voice trembling. He nodded, gripping her hand hard. But as they reached the bottom of a staircase, the tunnel split into two paths. Both vanished into darkness, twisting away like twin serpents. He paused, weighing their option. Left, or right? She looked at him, panic rising. We can't stay here. Choose, please. He exhaled, forcing calm. Left. We take left. The tunnel curved sharply, descending deeper into the bowel of the castle. The air grew colder, damp, smelling of earth and old stone. Faint echo of dripping water and distant footstep reverberated through the passage. Then, a faint light appeared red, en amber glow, warm and inviting, yet somehow menacing. They moved toward it, cautious. As they approached, they saw a door ancien, carved with symbol netter coup d'instant, yet exuding power and authority. Et pushed it open slowly. The room beyond was vast, circular, with walls lined with mirror. Each mirror reflected not just their image, but strange distortion. Version of themselves twisted, fearful, some smiling maliciously. What is this place? She whispered, eyes wide. The mirror chamber. Et breathed, recognizing it from all tales whispered à mon servant. It show you what you fear, and what you desire. And sometimes, it try you. They stepped inside cautiously. At their reflection multiplied, a voice, soft, seductive, terrifying, echoed around the room. You cannot resist what lies within you, the choice has already been made. She clutched his arm, her voice shaking. We shouldn't be here, we should turn back. Et shook he said. No. We can't. We've come too far. What there were for us, we face it together. Suddenly, one of the mirror rippled, like water disturbed by a stone. Her reflection stepped forward on its own, smiling wickedly, eyes glinting with a dark secret. And then, a hand reached out from the glass, not a reflection, but something real. Something alive. The slave grabbed her, yanking her back, but the hand latched onto her wrist, his hand unyielding. Her scream echoed through the chamber, a shadow poured out of the mirror, twisting, quailing, hungry. Et fought to free her, struggling against the impossible grip of the darkness. Hold on to me. The room began to spin, mirror cracking, splintering, each fracture revealing glimpses of horror beyond imagination. And in the chaos, she saw it, a figure standing among the shards, cloaked in shadow, holding the glowing pendant from before. Its eyes burned with an otherworldly fire. You cannot escape, it whispered, voice like silk and steel. Not now. Not ever. Terrified in the balance, suspended between the storm above, the shadow around them, and the choice that had already been made. And as the mirror reached closer, a sudden, piercing light shot across the chamber, blinding, burning, and full of power. They shielded their eyes, and when they dared to look again, the figure was gone. But the mirror were still alive, shifting, watching. And one whisper lingered in the air, chilling them to the bone. Your end, besoin now. The mirror shivered with a life of their own, jagged cracks spiderwebbing across their surface. The slave pressed himself in front of her, shielding her as a shadow right like serpent across the floor, climbing the walls, reaching for them with impossible length. She gasped, clutching his arm. We trapped. Et shook his head, jaw tight. No. Not yet. Listen to me, we end this. Together. The pendant. Dead pulsing, forbidden jewel. It had been the key, the lure, the danger. He reached into his cloak and pulled it out, holding it high above his head. The light cut through the darkness, illuminating the room like a sunburst, burning away shadow with each pulse. The hand from the mirror recoiled, hissing like wounded beasts. The room trembled violently, shards of glass raining down, but it didn't flinch. He focused on the pendant, its glow responding to his will, feeding on his determination. Trust me, he whispered to her. Close your eyes, and do not fear. She obeyed, heart pounding. In the darkness behind her eyelid, she could feel the pull of the shadow, the suffocating cold, but also his warmth, his heartbeat, his wavering presence. A deafening crack split the chamber as the mirror shattered completely. Light poured into the room, pure and blinding. The shadow screamed and dissolved into nothingness. The air grew still, calm, almost serene after the chaos. When she opened her eyes, the slave was kneeling, exhausted, but alive. The pendant hovered in his hand, glowing softly, almost peacefully now. She fell into him, tears streaming freely. Is it over? He held her close, brushing the empire from her face. For now, he said, voice hoarse but steady. The kingdom, it will never be the same. But we survived. Outside, the storm had passed. Rain trickled through the broken windows, sunlight filtering weakly through clouds, illuminating the scar of the castle, but also the promise of a new beginning. They stood together, battered but unbroken. A kingdom secret had been touched, a fate had been rewritten, and through it all, love and hope had clung to them like a lifeline. And as they stepped from the chamber into the light of the new day, the Slav whispered one last warning. Remember, some things, once awakened, never truly sleep. The young virgin nodded, determination blazing in her eyes. Whatever lay ahead, they would face it, together. And in the silence that followed, the kingdom itself seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the next story to unfold.